So here to help us better understand that situation with Khashoggi's death is our national security expert, Ryan Vogel, here from Utah Valley University. Ryan, thanks for being with us again this morning.
You bet.
Let's start off with Representative Stewart's comments.
Yeah.
What do you make of that?
Well, I think he's right. I mean, this kind of thing happens all over the world. We certainly have to balance upholding American values and human rights abroad with some of our hard interests that we have with some of these countries. And there are a lot of unsavory things that happen. I think the one thing that we have to keep in mind is that where there are disappearances in other countries, we may not know what happened. Here, we have pretty good evidence that not only was this person killed, who was a U.S. resident, but the way that he was killed in a diplomatic residence, chopped into pieces, and then the string of denials.
Details there.
Yeah,
yes.
it's a really, really terrible situation. So it's a bit different than, you know, a disappearance in a country that we just don't know very many details about. So
what situation does that put state lawmakers or the president in with the situation, trying to decide what to do to respond to this situation?
Yeah, well, I mean, yesterday you had the CIA director go and brief members of the Senate and give them more information. A lot of them came and said, well, we didn't know some of the pieces of information that we got yesterday. So the CIA director seems to think that we have pretty convincing evidence that the Crown Prince was involved with this, monitored, supervised, funded, those kinds of things. You have the Defense Secretary and the State Secretary going around making their rounds as well, saying, look, you know, this is bad, but there are a lot of things at stake here, economic interests and political diplomatic issues that we're dealing with in the region. And so it does present a tricky situation for the White House and for lawmakers. How do you condemn what's happened, like really go after it while maintaining that important relationship with Saudi Arabia?
So what happens if the U.S. does nothing?
If we do nothing, then I think we tell a lot of other actors in the world that this is acceptable. You know, you've seen Putin do this with people on his target list, go after poison people. I think you send a signal that the United States is not going to push hard against countries if they do something this egregious.
How likely is that to be the outcome?
I think the most likely outcome is that Congress will condemn this somehow. They'll issue some kind of a joint resolution condemning the Crown Prince for his activities here. I think the White House will probably make some statements, but that's probably the end of it. I don't think you're going to see anything really hard happen to our diplomatic relations. Certainly no severing of relations or cutting of deals that we've had with them for a long time.
And it's interesting to see how much information we know, and that for that to be the outcome, which is still yet to be decided,
right,
would be very interesting to talk about what our relationship is and how we help police those situations throughout the world.
That's right.
There you go. Okay, so for more information on what work they're doing there at Utah Valley University, again, talking this morning with our expert on national security, Ryan Vogel, there at Utah Valley University. You can find their work at abc4.com/GMU. Ryan, as always, thanks for being with us this morning.
Thank you.
Emily?